माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी जय यशोदा नंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यशोदा नंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यशोदा नंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुरमाई की जय। नरसिंह भगवान की जय। पंचतत्व की जय। षड गोस्वामी की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरुदेव की जय। निताय गौतम हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta Yeshabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto the personality of Godhead who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji, welcome all of you, and thank you very much for joining and keeping your appointment with Krishna today for hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. And very, very auspicious day, Ekadashi, all the more glorious. So just share the screen for today's two verses, which we'll be discussing from 4th Canto, 16th chapter, 22 and 23. First, let us recite this verse. Ayam mahingam duduhe dirajah प्रजापतिर्वृत्ति करः प्रजानाम् यो लीलयाद्रीन् स्वशरासकोट्या भिन्दन् समाङ्गाम् अकरो यतेन्द्रः अयं महिम्गाम् दुदुहेधिराजः प्रजापतिर्वृत्ति करः प्रजानाम् यो लीलयाद्रीन् स्वशरासकोट्या भिन्दन् समाङ्गाम् अकरोद्यतेन्द्रः अयं महिम्गाम् दुदुहेधिराजः प्रजापतिर्वृत्ति करः प्रजानाम् यो लीलयाद्रीन् स्वशरासकोट्या भिन्दन् समाङ्गाम् अकरोद्यतेन्द्रः. Any one of you can recite?
Can I, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Yeah. Ayam mahim gam duduhe dhirajaha prajapatir vruttikara prajanam yoli layadrin svasharasa kotya bhindan samam gam akarodyatendraha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
The anonymous word meaning. I am this king. Mahim, the earth. Gam, in the form of a cow. Duduhe, will milk. Adirajaha, extraordinary king. Prajapatihi, progenitor of mankind. Vrittikaraha, providing living facility. Prajanam, of the citizens. Yaha, one who. Leelaya, simply by past tense. Adreen, mountains and hills. Swasharasa, of his bow. Kotya, by the pointed end. Bhindan, breaking. Samam, level. Gam, the earth. Akarot, will make. Yatha, as. Indraha, the king of heaven, Indra. Translation and translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This king, this protector of the citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to the Prajapati demigods. For the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth, which is like a cow. Not only that, but he will level the surface of the earth with the pointed ends of his bow, breaking all the hills exactly as King Indra, the kingly heavenly king, breaks mountains with his powerful thunderbolt. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's add the 23rd verse. Visfurjayannaj gavam danu swayam yadarcharat kshamam avisahyamajau tada nililyur dishidishya santo langulamudyamya yatha mrigendraha Visfurjayannaj gavam danu swayam Yadacharat kshmam avishahyamajau tada nililyor dishidishya santo langulamudyamya yatha mrigendraha Visfurjayanyaj gavam danu swayam Yadacharat kshmam avishahyamajau Tada nililyor dishidishya santo langulamudyamya yatha mrigendraha. Any one of you can recite?
Hare Krishna. May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Vispurjayannaja gavam danusvayam yadacharakshmam avishahyam ajau tada niliyulyur dishidishya santo langulamudyamya yatha mrigendraha.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Synonyms word to word meaning. Visfurjayan, vibrating. Haja gavam, made of the horns of goats and bulls. Danuhu, his bow. Swayam, personally. Yada, when. Acharat, will travel. Shmam, on the earth. Avishahyam, irresistible. Ahajav, in battle. Tada, at that time. Nilil Yuhu, will hide themselves. Dishi dishi, in all directions. Asantaha, demoniac men. Langulam, tail. Udyamya, keeping high. Yatha, as. Mrigendra, the lion. Translation in purport by Divine Geshe Prabhupada. Please hear the translation purport. When the lion travels in the forest with its tail turned upward, all menial animals hide themselves. Similarly, when King Prithu will travel over his kingdom and vibrate the string of his bow, which is made of the horns of goats and bulls, and is irresistible in battle, all demonic rogues and thieves will hide themselves in all directions. Purport. It is very appropriate to compare a powerful king like Prithu to a lion. In India, Kshatriya kings are still called Singh, which means lion. Unless rogues, thieves, and other demonic people in a state are afraid of the executive head who rules the kingdom with a strong hand, there cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. Thus, it is most regrettable when a woman becomes the executive head instead of a lion-like king. In such a situation, the people are considered very unfortunate. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyantimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swabhadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणलिता श्रीविशाखांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचम् इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणगादीन् प्राणानमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं तत्कृपातं मोदप्रमाणम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाभूतले श्रीमति महाविष्णुस्वामिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाभूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिति नामिने निर्विशेषशून्यवाचार्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत कृष्ण। So Hare Krishna, Prabhupada Mataji is again welcome all of you. So this chapter is entitled Praise of King Prithu by the Professional Reciters. See in this verse which we are discussing, 22 and 23. In the 22nd verse, Prabhupada says, no, this king, that is King Prithu, this protector of the citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to the Prajapati demigods. See, the king, or in modern times, the government, right? He should act as the guardian of the citizens. How? By teaching them the proper goal of life. See, the human form of life is meant for what? Especially meant for realization of oneself and one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because this cannot be realized in animal life. The duty of a government is to take charge of training of all the citizens, in such a way that by a gradual process, they will be elevated to the spiritual platform. And then will realize the self and its relationship with the God. In fact, this principle was followed by kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Parishit Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, Maharaj Ambrisha, Prahlad Maharaj, right? So the leaders of government must be very honest and religious, because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer, right? Unfortunately, in the name of democracy, now it is not democracy, right? In the name of democracy, as in the verse we saw, rogues and thieves rogues and thieves, are electing other rogues and thieves to the most important posts in the government. And Prabhupada says, because of the importance of the Krishna conscious movement, okay, people should be Krishna conscious and should not vote for anyone who's not Krishna conscious. Then there will be actual peace and prosperity in the state. See, when a Vaishnava sees mismanagement in the government, he feels great compassion, very great compassion in his heart, and he tries his best to purify the situation by spreading the Hare Krishna movement. See, let us see the duty of a government, right? See, upholding religious principles is a duty of the king or government. Upholding religious principles. Unfortunately, in the present age, Kali Yuga, people have lost their intelligence. So the point is they cannot differentiate between dharma and adharma, religion and irreligion. See, the courts, they do not know whom to punish and whom not to punish. See, for example, out of compassion for all the fallen souls, the Vaishnavas, they go to preach the principle of Krishna consciousness. We have seen, right? They go not only here in India, everywhere outside world. But unfortunately, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, even though these Vaishnavas, Acharyas, have dedicated their lives to preaching the glories of the Lord, they are sometimes harassed and punished by courts on false charges of disturbing the peace. We've seen worldwide, so many places, right? So this age, Kali Yuga, is very bad. We can only take the shelter of Krishna and always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. See, the judicial system is meant to provide for execution of justice. Yet what happens? False witness, bribery, it makes it difficult, right? In fact, with money, almost anyone can get a favorable judgment in court. And if the justice system is corrupt, then life becomes extremely troublesome. The government is supposed to offer the citizens protection, as parents do for the children, correct? See, a small child is completely dependent on his father and mother, thinking with full faith, right? My father is here, my mother is here, I am safe. But if the father and mother are corrupt, where is the protection for the child? So if the whole government is corrupt, where is the protection for the citizens? See, whatever the heads of society do, people generally follow. See, the government or king is like a father to the citizens. A father will never tolerate the killing or injuring of his children. He will give us his own life trying to attack the person threatening his children. Yet, today the crime is very rampant. Government spends billions of dollars, right? But citizens have no security in their lives. The government is answerable to the citizens because it must protect and provide for them. So if the government is incapable or corrupt, then what is the position of the citizens? So the king, the government should act as the guardian of the citizens by teaching them the proper goal of life. So they should be trained, right? And follow kings like Maharaj Amrisha, Yudhishthira, Lord Ramachandra. But today's government are totally dishonest, irreligious, and therefore all the affairs of the states, they suffer. In the name of democracy, rogues and thieves, they fool the innocent people by electing, right, to the most important post, all these people. In Kali Yuga, people have no shelter. Due to the corrupt government, they're uncertain of their lives and property. See, the mass of people should always feel secure because of the government's protection, right? So how regrettable it is for the government itself, to cause a breach of trust and put the citizens in difficulty for political reasons. See, during the partition days in India, although Hindus and Muslims have been living together peacefully, manipulation by the politicians, it suddenly aroused feelings of hatred between them. And thus, Hindus and Muslims killed one another over politics. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. Another symptom of Kali Yuga is the abominable practice of animal slaughter. In this age, animals are kept nicely sheltered, completely confident that their masters will protect them. But unfortunately, as soon as animals are fat, they're immediately sent for slaughter. Such cruelty is condemned by Vaishnavas, like the Vishnu Dutas, right? See, hellish conditions of extreme suffering await the sinful men responsible for such cruelty. The point to understand is one who betrays the confidence of a living entity, who takes shelter of him in good faith, okay, whether that living entity be a human or animal, is extremely sinful. And because such betrayals now go unpunished by the government, all of human society is terribly contaminated. So the people of this age are therefore described as Mandaha Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Hi Upadirtaha. Bhagavatam 1:10 says, right? As a consequence of such sinfulness, men are condemned. Mandaha. Their intelligence is unclear. Sumanda Matayaha. They are unfortunate. Manda Bhagyaha. And therefore, they are always disturbed by many problems. Upadrita. Symptoms of Kali Yuga. So this is their situation in this life. And after death, they are punished in hellish conditions. See, although Ajamila was not punishable, the Yamadutas were insisting on taking him away to Yamaraj for punishment because of so many atrocious acts he had done, right? But this was adharma, contrary to religious principles. See, the Vishnu Dutas feared that if such irreligious acts were allowed, the management of human society would be spoiled. So, Prabhupada says in modern times, the Krishna conscious movement is trying to introduce the right principles of management for human society. But unfortunately, governments of Kali Yuga do not properly support the Hare Krishna movement because they do not appreciate its valuable service. The Hare Krishna movement is the right movement for elevating the fallen condition in society. So governments and public leaders in every part of the world should support this movement to completely rectify this humanity's sinful condition. You know King Rahuguna, the episode of Jalabrata, right? In the 5th canto. King Rahuguna was proud of being a king. And he felt he had the right to control the citizens as he liked. But actually he was engaging men in carrying his palanquin without payment. They are taking a palanquin to take the king. And they have not paid also. Therefore, he was causing them trouble without reason. The king was thinking that he was a protector of the citizens. Actually, the king should be the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? For this reason, he is called Naradevata, the Lord among the human beings. So when a king thinks that because he is the head of the state, he can utilize citizens for sense gratification, then he is wrong. He is in error. Such an attitude is not appreciated by learned scholars. According to Vedic principles, the king should be advised by learned sages, brahmanas and scholars, who advise him according to the injunctions given in the Dharma Shastra. So the duty of the king is to follow these instructions. See, people who are learned, no, they do not appreciate kings utilizing public endeavor for his own benefit. The king's duty is to give protection to the citizens. The king should not become such a rogue that he exploits the citizens for his own benefit. That should not be done. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga, the heads of government will be plunderers and thieves. See, in Bhagavatam, it's already done. We are seeing it. In Kali Yuga, heads of government will be plunderers and thieves. And these thieves and plunderers take the money and property of the public by force, right? Therefore, it is said in Bhagavatam, Rajanyer Nirgamay Dastyu Dharmabhihi. As Kali Yuga advances, we can see that these characteristics are already visible. We can certainly imagine how deteriorated human civilization will be by the end of Kali Yuga. There will no longer be any sane man capable of understanding God and our relationship with Krishna. Human beings will be just like animals. At that time, in order to reform the human society, Lord Krishna will come in the form of Kalki Avatar. His business will be to kill all the atheists, because ultimately the real product is Krishna. So Lord incarnates and sets things in order when things are mismanaged by so-called kings and heads of government. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Of course, this takes place. This takes many years, but the principle is there. So when the king or the governmental head, when he does not follow the proper principles, then nature deals out punishments in the form of war, famine, and so on. So if the governmental head is not aware of life's goals, he should not take charge of ruling the people. Actually, the supreme proprietor of everything is the Lord, right? He is the maintainer of everyone. The king, the father, guardian or prince, they are all simply representatives of the Lord, empowered by him to look after the management and maintain things. So it is therefore the duty of the head of the state to maintain the general people in such a way that people will ultimately know the goal of life. Unfortunately, the foolish governmental head and the general people, they do not know that the ultimate goal of life is to understand and approach the Supreme Lord. Without this knowledge, everyone is in ignorance. In all society is crowded with cheaters and they are cheated. See, Jadabrata, he told King Raghuna that Krishna is the supreme shelter. See how we should train the people, no? so that they will elect the right person also. But everybody is rogue and thief, then they will elect the same rogue and thief, and ultimately, whatever sane people are around, they will also be suffering too much. So Janakaputra told the king that Krishna is the supreme shelter. Because King Raghunath asked, who is the supreme shelter, right? See, uncontrolled mind is the root cause of all our troubles. Uncontrolled mind. And controlling the mind by the weapon of service to Guru and Krishna is a way for spiritual progress. Two important things, right? One is uncontrolled mind is the root cause of all our troubles. You should understand that. So how to control the mind? By the weapon of service, seva. To whom? To Guru and Krishna. So King Raghuna, out of pride, had engaged the palanquin, right? Carriers, to carry him in the palanquin. He did not even pay for them. On top of it, he chastised them when there were some jerks in the palanquin, because sometimes the roads will not be proper or something. So they'll move, no? So it will be moving. Then he will start chastising. He was thinking that as a king, he had the right to chastise the palanquin carriers when they did not discharge their duty correctly. Jadabrata made it very clear to him that the material body of the king inside the palanquin, as well as palanquin carriers, are simply transformation of earth. Very important point, please understand carefully. The living force in all the material bodies is Krishna. See, only because of Krishna's presence in the form of super soul, the soul exists in our body and there is life. And when the super soul leaves, the soul also leaves the body. And the material body again gets decomposed to dust. So, it is really foolish to be proud of one's material body and treat others badly. So in Bhagavatam 5:12-8, Jadabrata beautifully says, all of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only. For everything grows out of the earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall but be dust. So everyone can consider this point. See, one of the devotees asked my Guru Maharaj as to how can we give up pride? How can we give up pride? Maharaj answered in just 3 words. Remember your ash. ASH. See, at the end of life, when we are burnt, irrespective of whatever we were when we were alive, all of us would be reduced just to a handful of ashes. So there is no point in being proud of this perishable body and its related, these temporary designations, right? So we should genuinely respect everyone and not exploit them for our sense gratification. So as a responsible king, Raghuna, instead of ill-treating the subjects, if he had engaged them in serving the Supreme Lord, carrying the Lord in the palanquin, then everyone would have been pleased, correct? Carrying the Lord in the palanquin is better. On the contrary, he was trying to misuse the subjects for his sense gratification. So neither was he peaceful, nor were the palanquin carriers. See, the duty of a pious king is described very nicely in 4:14-17 Bhagavatam. His first and foremost duty is to give protection to the citizens from thieves and rogues, as well as from ministers who are no better than thieves and rogues. Prabhupada says, right? The king's duty is to give protection to citizens from thieves and rogues, and also from ministers who are no better than thieves and rogues. That's what we are seeing now. See, formerly, ministers were appointed by the king and were not elected. So if the king was not very pious or strict, ministers would become thieves and rogues and exploit the innocent citizens, right? So it is king's duty to see that there is no increase of thieves and rogues, either in the government secretariat or the departments of public affairs. If a king, if he cannot give protection to citizens from thieves and rogues, both in the government service and in public affairs, he has no right to exact taxes from them. No right to levy taxes. To the king of government, that taxes can levy taxes from citizens only if the king of government is able to give protection to the citizens from thieves and rogues. Then only then. In the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, 12:142, there's a description of these thieves and rogues in government service. It says, Prajaste Bhakshishanti Mlecha Rajanya Rupinaha. These proud mlechas means persons who are less than Shudras, representing themselves as kings, they will tyrannize their subjects. And their subjects, on the other hand, will cultivate the most vicious practices. Thus, practicing evil habits and behaving foolishly, the subjects will be like their rulers. So the idea is that in the democratic days of Kali Yuga, the general population will fall down to the standard of Shudras. Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Practically the whole population of the world will be Shudra. The Shudra is what? Who? He's a fourth class man. Fourth class. He's only fit to work for the 3 higher social classes. So being in the fourth class, Shudras are not very intelligent. Since the population is fallen in these democratic days, they can only elect a person in their category. But a government cannot run very well when it is run by Shudras. See, the second class of men known as Kshatriyas, no? They are especially meant for governing a country under the direction of saintly persons, Brahmanas, who are supposed to be very intelligent. See, in the other ages, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapar Yuga, the general population was not so degraded, sorry. And the head of government was never elected. The king was the supreme executive personality. And if he caught any minister stealing like thieves and rogues, he would at once have them killed or dismissed from service. So it was the duty of the king to kill thieves and rogues, as it was his duty, right? It was similarly his duty to immaculately kill dishonest ministers in government. So what happens by such very strict vigilance, no? The king could run the government very well. And the citizens would be very happy to have such a king. See, the conclusion is that unless the king is perfectly able to give protection to the citizens from rogues and thieves, he has no right to even levy taxes from the citizens for his own sense gratification. Not required. But if he gives all protection and levies taxes on them. He can live very happily and peacefully in this life, and at the end of his life, he will be elevated to the Vaikuntha Loka, where he will be happy in all respects. So it is the duty of the governor or the king to understand this science of Krishna consciousness. It is a duty. See, otherwise, how will you be able to give benefit to the citizens? See, everything has been being topsy-turvy, right? See, Prabhupada in one of the lectures, he says, don't think that Srimad Bhagavatam is simply meant for hearing Krishna's Rasa Leela. Actually, people take like that. When there is Srimad Bhagavatam, it means to hear Krishna's Rasa Leela. And they take some wrong impression. And therefore, Krishna is derided. See, in Bhagavatam, everything is knowledge. What knowledge? How this universe is constituted, how every planetary system is being governed, how this planet should be governed, politics, sociology, religion, culture, economics, science, astronomy, everything is there in Bhagavatam. Simply we have to learn it. Therefore, if we get the chance of starting an institution for teaching this Bhagavad Dharma, we have to start immediately. So Hare Krishna is the important thing. So Bhagavatam gives all-round knowledge. Not only just learning Hare Krishna, chanting alone. It gives all-round knowledge. Perfect knowledge. See, Bhagavatam explains the Vedic instruction. Yasmin Vigyate Sarvameva Vigyatam Bhavanti. That is, if we simply try to understand Bhagavad Dharma, then every knowledge will be perfect. So, this is like a lawyer, no? He's thorough with all these sections. So, by being thorough with Bhagavatam, we are ready. We can never be defeated. We come out victorious in every case. And it defeats all other philosophy. See, we are discussing these two verses. Now, in the purport, Prabhupada says, for the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth, which is like a cow. He specifies that, right? It is in the translation of 22. He says, see, this king, this protector of citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to Prajapati of demigods. For the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth, which is like a cow. See, there are nice instructions for milking a cow in 4, 18, 9 and 10 purport. The cow must first have a calf, so that out of affection for the calf, she will voluntarily give sufficient milk. There must also be an expert milkman and a suitable pot in which to keep the milk. So just as a cow cannot deliver sufficient milk without being affectionate to her calf, the earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. Even though the earth's being in the shape of a cow may be taken figuratively, the meaning is very explicit. He says, just as a calf can derive milk from a cow, all living entities, including animals, birds, beasts, reptiles, aquatics, they can receive their respective food from the planet Earth, provided that the human beings are not asat, or, right? See, when human society becomes asat, ungodly, devoid of Krishna conscious, the entire world suffers. So human beings are if they are well behaved, animals will also receive sufficient food and be happy. See, the ungodly human being, ignorant of his duty to give protection and food to the animals, kills them to compensate for insufficient production of grains. So no one is satisfied. That is the cause for the present condition in today's world. See, in 5.5.10 purport, Papa says, the earth over which Maharaj Gaya ruled is compared to a cow. The good qualities whereby he maintained and ruled citizens are compared to the calf. A cow delivers milk in the presence of her calf. Similarly, the cow or earth fulfilled the desires of Maharaj Gaya. He was able to utilize all the resources of the earth to benefit his citizens. Very important. So this was possible because he was bathed in sanctified water by the honest daughters of Daksha. So unless a king or ruler is blessed by authorities, he cannot rule the citizens very satisfactorily. Through the good qualities of the ruler, the citizens become very happy and well qualified. See, 4:17:17 purpose says, just as a mother produces various children, both male and female, the womb of Mother Earth produces all kinds of living entities in various shapes. Thus, it is possible for Mother Earth to take on innumerable shapes. So, at this time, in order to avoid the wrath of King Prithu, she took the shape of a cow. Since a cow is never to be killed, Mother Earth thought it was wise to take the shape of a cow in order to avoid King Prithu's arrows. See, Gita Mahatma, you say, no? Sarvopnishado gavo dogda gopar nandana partho vas sudhir bhokta dogdam Gita amritam mahat. Gita Mahatma 6, it says, all the Upanishads are like a cow. And the milker of the cow is Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda. Arjuna is the calf. The beautiful nectar of the Gita is the milk. And the fortunate devotees of this fine theistic intellect are the drinkers and enjoyers of that milk. This Gita Upanishad is like a cow, and the Lord is famous as a cowboy. And he was milking this cow. Sarva Upanishado. And it is the essence of all Upanishads. And represented as the cow. And the Lord, being expert cowboy, is milking the cow. And Partho Vatsaha. That Arjuna is like the calf. And Sudhir Bhokta. And learned scholars are pure devotees. They are to take this milk. Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahat. The nectar, the milk of Bhagavad Gita is meant for learned devotees. See, Ajamila, he repented his negligence in performing his duty to his wife, father, and mother. See, it is a duty of grown-up children to render service to their aged parents. This practice should be reintroduced in present society. Otherwise, what is the use of family life? Proper family life means that the husband should be protective, the wife chaste, and the children grateful to their father and mother. Children should think, my father and mother gave me so much service. When I was unable to walk, they carried me. When I was unable to eat, they fed me. They gave me an education. They gave me life. A bona fide son thinks of ways to render service to his father and mother. And just as a woman is expected to be faithful to her husband, so the husband should be grateful for her service and protect her. Now, Ajamila, because of his association with a prostitute, he had abandoned all his duties. So, regretting this, he now considers himself quite fallen. So, according to the Vedic social system, as soon as one takes birth, he becomes indebted to so many persons. We are indebted to the rishis or great sages because we derive knowledge from their transcendental writings, such as Srimad Bhagavatam compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. The authors of scriptures know past, present, and future, and we are all urged to take advantage of such invaluable knowledge. So we are indebted to the sages. We are also indebted to the demigods because they manage the affairs of the universe, supplying it with every essential, right? Sunshine from sun god Surya, moonshine from moon god Chandra, air from Vayu. Each element is controlled by a particular demigod. We are also indebted to ordinary living entities from whom we take service. For example, we take milk from the cow. So according to Vedic understanding, cow is considered one of our mothers because we drink her milk. Just as at birth we drink our mother's milk. So Srimad Bhagavatam lists 7 mothers. Our own mother, wife of our teacher or spiritual master, wife of a Brahmana, wife of the king, the nurse, the cow, and the earth. So we are indebted to all 7 of these mothers, and also to our father, brothers, friends, relatives, and forefathers. See, we may well ask, how can one hope to liquidate all his debts? If you are debtful, so how can I liquidate these things? The answer is only by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna or Mukunda. The name Mukunda indicates one who liberates us from material contamination. We are indebted to the demigods, but we cannot take shelter of them. If you want actual shelter, you should take shelter of Krishna because he alone can free us from all debts. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if he excuses us, then all other department managers, such as demigods, must also excuse us. Ajamila understood this position as a debtor. But since he had not now taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, all his debts were cleared. Simply by taking shelter of Narayana, Lord Narayana, who is not different from Mukunda, Ajamila became free. So similarly, if we want to be free from all sinful reactions, we have no alternative but to surrender to Krishna. As Krishna recommends, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Simply surrender unto me. We should follow Krishna's advice. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to liquidate all our debts to so many persons, especially in this age of Kali, right? See, in one of the letters to Rupa, letters, Srila Prabhupada, that is, it was to letter to Rupanuga, December 7th, 1975, it was in Vrindavan. Prabhupada says, our cows are happy, therefore they give plenty of milk. Vedic civilization gives protection to all the living creatures, especially to the cows, because they render such valuable service to the human society in the shape of milk, without which no one can become healthy and strong. And Prabhupada says in that letter, in your country, the dog is protected and the cow is killed. The dog is passing stool and urine in the street. He is considered the best friend of man. And the cow is all pure, stool, urine, and milk, but they are taken to a slaughterhouse and killed for food. What kind of civilization is this? Therefore, we have to preach against all this nonsense. He has written in that letter. The 173 purport, Prabhupada says the next symptom of the age of Kali is the distressed condition of the cow. Milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in a liquid form. See, the great rishis and munis, no, they would live only on milk. Shukadeva Goswami would go to a householder while he was milking a cow, and he would simply take a little quantity of it for subsistence. See, even 50 years ago, no one would deprive a sadhu of giving a little bit of milk, right? Every household will give milk, just like water, he will give milk. So, for a Sanatanist, that means a follower of Vedantist, Vedic principles, it is the duty of every householder to have cows and bulls as household paraphernalia. Not only for drinking milk, but also for deriving religious principles. The Sanatanist worship cows on religious principles and respects Brahmanas. So the cow's milk is required for the sacrificial fire. And by performing sacrifices, the householder can be happy. The cow's calf not only is beautiful to look at, but also gives satisfaction to the cow. And so she delivers as much milk as possible. But in the Kali Yuga, the cows are separated from the cows as early as possible. Prabhupada mentions the purport. The cow stands with tears in her eyes. The Shudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially. And when there is no milk, cow is sent to the slaughtered house. So these greatly sinful acts are responsible for all the troubles in the present society. People do not know what they are doing in the name of economic development. So the influence of Kali will keep them in the darkness of ignorance. So despite all endeavors for peace and prosperity, they must try to see the cows and the bulls are happy in all respects. Foolish people do not know how one earns happiness by making the cows and bulls happy. But it's a fact, by the law of nature, right? Let us take it from the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam and adopt the principles for the total happiness of whole of human mankind. Very important point to understand, right? So, Prabhupada says, unless rogues, thieves, and other demonic people in a state are afraid of the executive head who rules a kingdom with a strong hand, there cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. See, simply enforcing laws and ordinance cannot make the citizens obedient and lawful. That is impossible. Just creating laws, regulations, no. Throughout the entire world, there are so many states, so many assemblies, so many parliaments. Still, citizens are rogues and thieves. Good citizenship, therefore, cannot be enforced. Citizens must be trained. See, as there are schools and colleges to train students to become chemical engineers, lawyers, right? Specialists in many departments of knowledge. There must be schools and colleges to train students to become Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, Brahmacharis, Grihasthas, Vanaprasthas, Sannyasis. This will provide the preliminary condition for good citizenship. Varnashrama Guna Vitaha. See, generally speaking, if the king or president is Rajarishi, the relationship between citizens and the government will be very clear. There will be no possibility of disruption in the state, right? Because the number of thieves and rogues will decrease. In Kali Yuga, however, because the Varnashrama system is neglected, people are generally thieves and rogues. So in the system of democracy, such thieves and rogues, they naturally collect money from thieves and rogues. So there is totally chaos in every government. No one is happy. But the example of good government is found in the reign of Lord Ramachandra. If people follow this example, there will be good government all over the world. People are very fond of the pattern of Ramarajya, right? And even today, politicians sometimes form a party called Ramarajya. Unfortunately, they have no obedience to Lord Ram. Sometimes said that people want the kingdom of God without God. It can never be fulfilled. So good government can exist when the relation between citizens and government is like Lord Ramchandra and his citizens. So this is how we should maintain, right? Very important. See, there is a very good knowledge in one of the lectures. Prabhupada says knowledge means, see, everything is maintained so nicely. And they say there is without any brain, without any manager. And they say that God is dead. There is no God. Prabhupada says he is rascal number one. He said, how can there be no God? See, suppose, Prabhupada gives an example. Suppose the child has come to London. He cannot see the Queen, right? So many people are coming to visit London. It is not that everyone is seeing the Queen. But if he says, oh, there is no Queen, Queen is dead, will it be accepted? Similarly, some rascals who do not know how this universe is being managed, he may say, God is dead, there is no God. That will not be accepted by a sane man. A sane man will say, there must be somebody, origin of everything. Janmadi asyatah, 111 Bhagavatam says. That is Bhagavatam, Janmadi asyatah. Vedanta Sutra says, what is the absolute truth? Atatu Brahma Jigyasa. So dharma, religion, right? It is very, very important. Means to understand that origin, absolute truth. So very powerful points. Another important point we can understand. So why I'm telling this, because we are seeing there should be a good ruler, leader should be there. But the people should be trained. So how to be trained? That's what Prabhupada is giving. See, this Archana Paddhati, devotional service. Although we have got this material body, under the direction of Shastras, under the direction of spiritual master, we are working. We are trying to serve Krishna. So that service is as good as service in the spiritual world. So there is no difference. See, just like you have got a green mango. Green mango is not so tasteful. But when it is ripe, it is tasteful. The mango is not different. Same mango. So you have to wait. You wait for the time when it is ripened. Then you will taste it very nice. Similarly, in the beginning, the neophyte stage, when we say you must get up early in the morning for Mangalarti, you do this, you take bath. Right? These things, Now, because we are not ripened, we are in the neophyte stage, these things appear to be bothering, not tasteful. But you have to do it under the order of the spiritual master and the order of Shastras. Because unless you practice, right? Once you practice, when it is ripened by practicing, then you can taste. So by practicing, it develops the love of God. And when he's in love of God, he cannot do without it, right? Automatically, he will rise early in the morning for Mangalarti. Automatically, he will do everything, chanting. It is simply the question of time to arrive to that ripened stage. So we can see the glorious character of Maharaj Prithu, the right ruler. See, being an empowered incarnation of Lord Krishna, Prithu Maharaj exhibited all the wonderful qualities of a king when he ruled this planet. I'll just list out a few of them, glorious qualities. We can imbibe and try to put it into practice. Number one is forgiveness. It is usually very difficult for us to forgive a soul who is constantly offending us, right? But being a true Vaishnava, Prithu Maharaj possessed this valuable jewel of forgiveness and he willingly forgave Indra who had been a source of disturbance, in completing his 100th horse sacrifice. So when Indra sought forgiveness, Prithu Maharaj embraced him lovingly, forgetting his misdeeds, thus giving no place for any grudge or envy in his heart. This is forgiveness, the first quality. Second is magnanimity. He protected his citizens well and ensured to please them by his words, by his deeds and actions. He was anxious to make his citizens Krishna conscious. And he was not a mere king collecting taxes from citizens. He is anxious to make citizens Krishna conscious. This is his magnanimity, not just collecting taxes. The third point, humility. Although he was the most powerful king, while instructing his citizens about the way of life, he presented them in a humble manner, without any tinge of pride that he is their ruler. As he very well knew, that it is only by Lord's mercy he has been blessed with his royal position. See the point to understand. So, glorifying his humble nature, Prabhupada says in verse 4:21-21, he did not, however, present himself as a royal authority, empowered to command everyone. For he wanted to present his statement in humble submission before the assembly of great sages and saintly persons. As a great king of the entire world, he could have given them orders, but he was so humble, meek, and honest that he presented his statement for approval in order to clarify his mature decision. See the beauty of how to rule. So this is the third. The fourth one is pridelessness. Even when he received a very opulent reception from his citizens, Prithu Maharaj was not proud. In 4:21:5, Prithu Maharaj says, the reception given to the king was full of opulence, yet he did not become proud. It is said, therefore, the great personalities of power and opulence never become proud. And the example is given that a tree which is full of fruits and flowers, does not stand erect in pride, but instead bends downwards to show submissiveness. This is a sign of the wonderful character of a great personality. The fifth one is hospitality. Even though he was empowered incarnation of Krishna, like an ideal Vaishnava king, he taught others by his personal behavior how to receive and respect saintly persons like the Kumaras. He washed their feet with water and sprinkled the water over his head and over the heads of his family members. Hospitality. And the sixth one is serving with commitment. Serving with commitment. Prabhupada in his purport to 4:22:63 says, Prithu Maharaj was also very humble, meek and gentle, and whenever he performed any philanthropic work or welfare activity for the general public, he would labor exactly as if he were tending to his own personal necessities. In other words, his philanthropic activities were not for the sake of show, but were performed out of personal feeling and commitment. All philanthropic activities should be thus performed. So I just listed out a few of the wonderful qualities of Maharaj Prithu. Actually, he was a reservoir of so many exemplary qualities that Lord Vishnu and his devotees, namely Sanat Kumaras, gave him their auspicious darshan. See in Bhagavatam 4:20:20, 4th canto, 20th chapter, 20th verse, while explaining the glorious behavior of Prithu Maharaj to Vidur, Maitri Muni says, very beautiful verse. The Lord was just about to leave, after sacrifice, the Lord was about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined towards the behavior of King Prithu, he did not depart. Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Prithu with his lotus eyes, he was detained because he is always the well-wisher of his devotees. See, Lord Vishnu was so pleased by Prithu Maharaj's behavior that he did not even want to leave the arena and return to Vaikuntha. See the beauty. He was so pleased by the behavior of the devotee, right? Prithu Maharaj. He did not want to go back to Vaikuntha. Krishna did not want to go. So the Lord residing within our hearts is a witness of all that we do. So let us all remember this and always behave in a way that Krishna loves to reside in our hearts forever. See, we naturally get attracted to stay in a place which is very beautiful and pure, right? So if our heart and behavior are clean, Krishna will love to stay with us. But if we are narrow-minded, can possess all evil thoughts, then Krishna will not like to stay. He will not like to stay even for a second. So taking example of devotees like Prithu Maharaj, we should try to practice at least few of the wonderful qualities they possessed. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो अनन्तकोटि वैष्णवाः. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify Krishna on this auspicious Ekadashi day and to try to purify ourselves, by which we can get better and better in our devotional service. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, any points which you felt very, very useful for you to put into practice, you can share. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Maybe it was too much. Hare Krishna.
Very, very nice class, Prabhuji. But what we are doing to the animals who are dependent on us, we have to change our treatment towards them, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Ban all that exports of beef and all. India is the second largest exporter.
Correct. Thank you, Suresh Prabhu, for listing out the qualities. Very nice. We can take out so many qualities are there. Can take any qualities by reading this chapters of King Prutu and try to put it in practice.
I don't know whether there be a day when we will be free from all this. No, Prabhuji?
Free from all these difficulties. Yeah, because the rulers are like that, people are like that. So at least we have got, this is a golden period now because of
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada, right? He has come and we have taken shelter. And that is also Krishna's mercy. We took shelter of Srila Prabhupada. He come into your life. And this is
No, we are realizing also only because of him.
absolutely
Otherwise, we would have been in a more deeper trouble.
true, Mother. We don't know what to do, right? How to lead our life. So Prabhupada has made it very simple and we have to just follow it as it is. Then definitely we can see with before coming to Krishna consciousness and now how we are. We can relate ourselves where we were and where we are and where we are going. So this is very easy. So we have to just catch hold. We should not leave it. That's the point to understand. And for not leaving it, we should be in association of devotees always.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Hare Krishna.
The courts, even the courts are not known which one, whom to be punished, whom not to be punished.
Correct. Yeah, because everything
Completely
works with money.
Yeah, money.
Money, correct. So very difficult situations, but only way is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This can only take us back home, back to Godhead, and also make the world a better place to live in. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you, Brothers Mataji. Hare Krishna. Stop here now. Take care.
Hare
Be safe.
Krishna.
Have a wonderful
Hare
Ekadashi. Hare Krishna.
Your three
Prabhuji,
shlokas.
okay. Continue, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. The three shlokas that you make us all recite in everyday Bhagavatam class should at least spread and sprinkle goodness everywhere throughout the universe, Prabhuji. That Loka Kalyanam Shloka Swasthasya Vishwasya. I think that only I'm steadily holding, no matter what, Prabhuji. I just, even if it is, I try to recite it within my heart for the sake of good governance, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That beautiful verse, no? Swastyas, right? Which is
Vishwasya Kala Prasidata.
yeah, beautiful.
Yesterday
That
there was a
actually can
lot
go
of.
on listening day and night. That's very nice.
Yesterday's
Prabhuji.
Bhagavatam class, the first quarter of that shloka was that only, Swasthasya Vishwasya.
Sure. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Praise
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
one
Mataji.
point, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I made a mistake, Prabhuji. I was telling the animals who are dependent on us. On the contrary, we are dependent on them and we are betraying them. So that is a greater sin, Prabhuji.
Yeah. See, only the human beings, because through the sacrifice only everything will be good. By doing sacrifice, we get the rai, anna, everything is good. And that will be useful for everyone. Not only the human beings, even the animals. So the
We are
sacrifice,
taking
yeah,
milk from cow and killing them. That is the
that's
worst thing that can happen.
correct.
It's really sorry. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Madhavi.
That is the letter what he has written. Prabhupada has
Yeah.
written the letter.
To Rupanuga Prabhu. Yes.
He was growing
Like
the.
dogs, but not the cats.
Yes, yes.
Correct. Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's stop it. We overshoot the time, so I don't want to trouble anybody. So have a nice Ekadashi. Please continue reciting and hearing shlokas and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.